Okay, so hi everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Safa, and I'm the volunteer and learning coordinator at the Hansa Project. And we're very happy to welcome you to this special storytelling event with children from Palestine and hopefully Japan. So, yes, today we'll be celebrating some traditional stories. And as we all know that traditional stories carry our values, our humor, and our wisdom, and they connect us across generations and across cultures. But when we hear those stories from children in their own voices and their styles, they become even more magical. So today, we're joined by a number of Palestinian students from the West Bank, Gaza, and even those who have been displaced in Egypt. And each one will be telling us a story. And so, yeah, so let's begin. Our first story today is Lama Abu Leila from Gaza, and she will be sharing the story of Earth's Gold. So welcome, Lama. And yes,
Hello
I'm gonna
everyone.
hi, Lama. I'm just gonna spotlight you and then go ahead, okay?
Well, hear me?
Yes, Lama, we can hear you.
Okay. Hello everyone. My name is Lama Ahmed Abu Leila. I'm 17 years old from Palestine, exactly Rafah. I'm gonna start my story, so listen carefully and pay attention, please. Once upon a time, in the old days, there was a small village whose people lived by farming, and each one of them was connected to their land as if it were a part of their soul. In that village, there was an old farmer. He had spent his entire life working the land. He knew every inch of it and loved it more than anything. The farmer had three sons, but unfortunately, they were not like him. They saw hard work as something difficult, avoiding it first comfort over anything else. The father would always advise them, saying, "The land needs effort, but it gives back to those who love it." But they would listen and not act. As days passed, the father grew older and became ill, and he felt that his time was near. One day, he gathered his sons around him. His voice was calm but full of meaning. He said, "My sons, my sons, all my life I have hidden something important for you. There is, there is, there is a treasure buried under the land, and I'm leaving it for you." The sons suddenly became alert, their eyes shining. "A treasure?" They began asking, "Where is it? In which place? How big is it?" The father, the father smiled and did not answer. He fell silent as if he left the secret with them. A few days later, the father unfortunately passed away. The sadness passed quickly, and curiosity took its place. The sons could not think of anything except the treasure. From the very first day, they went down to the land and began digging. They dug here and dug there. Each one of them wanted to be the first to find the treasure. The sun was strong, and the work was very exhausting. But for the first time in their lives, they were determined to continue. Day after day, week after week, they turned the entire land upside down, not leaving a single piece untouched. In the end, they stood there, breathing heavily, their faces filled with exhaustion, but they found, nothing. One of them said angrily, "Maybe, Maybe our father was imagining things, or maybe we wasted our time. But the second one, after looking around at the land, said, wait, wait a moment. Look at the land now. Why don't we plant it? Mm, they agreed, since they had already worked so hard on it. They planted seeds, watered the land, and took care of it, and time passed. After a while, the land began to give them crops, but not any crops. It was abundant, more than any year before. Stood there, looking at the harvest, and it was clear that they were so surprised. At that moment, they remembered their father's words. They paused for a moment and they understood. The treasure was not gold and it was not buried under the ground. The treasure was in the land itself, in their effort, and in the work they put in with their own hands. From the day on, they changed. They began to love the land and took care of it. And they finally understood that effort is the most valuable treasure a person can ever have. That's it. Thank you all for listening.
Well done,
Beautiful.
Lama. That was beautifully done. Thank you so much. Beautiful story, beautiful storytelling, and a beautiful meaning. Thank you so much, Lama.
Well done.
Well done. Okay, so
Thank you all.
so our next storyteller is Lynn Amla from Hebron.
Yes, it's me.
Yes.
Okay. Hello, everyone. How are you doing today? I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm Lina Amla. I'm a 15-year-old girl. I live in Hebron, which is a huge city in West Bank, Palestine. And today I'm going to be storytelling one of my favorite childhood stories called Juha and the Stingy Man's Donkey. But first, since there's different nationalities from Japan, I would love you to get to know Juha. So, Mr. Juha, could you please come and introduce yourself to our friends? Oh, thank you, Lane. Yes, of course. Hello, everyone. I'm Juha. You have probably heard my name somewhere in the world. Well, that's because I'm a famous legendary character in Arab culture. A lot of people describe me as wise fool. Well, that's because I'm a sarcastic character. I represent wisdom and foolishness in my stories. But the thing you should know, my stories are not just jokes. No, they contain moral lessons. That's why people in Palestine and probably all around the Middle East used to tell their children my funny stories to teach them valuable lessons in life. And now, go and enjoy the story with Lee. And it was really, 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 really nice to meet you. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye, Mr. Jaha. All right. Once upon a time, Jaha was wandering around his field as usual. But he discovered some of the fruits and crops were missing. So he began to wonder, who could this thief be? Therefore, Joha had to sleep in his field for a night, hoping to catch the thief. The night passed, and the day went by without Joha seeing anyone. He was surprised by this. And one day, while he was walking around the city, he saw his stingy neighbor riding his donkey. But he noticed something strange about the donkey. It looked strong and healthy, which didn't reflect the well-known stinginess of its owner. Juha said to his neighbor, "Will you sell me this donkey?" The neighbor said, "How can I sell you a donkey that costs me nothing? It eats very little and gives me a lot." Juha laughed and said, "Oh, your donkey has signs of calmness and nobility." Then the neighbor said with a big smile on his face, "Oh, Juha, words cannot express it. He's the smartest donkey ever." Then Juha said, since he's very intelligent, why don't you put a nice collar around his neck and add a bill to the collar? It will be a sign of your appreciation to him." Then the neighbor said, "Where would I get the price of the bill and the collar?" Juha said, "You know what? I appreciate your donkey's intelligence. The collar will be a gift from me to you." So Juha bought the miser's donkey a nice collar. Then he gave it to him. And the miser thanked Juha for giving his donkey such a great honor. Then he hung it around the donkey's neck, full of joy. Look at the happy donkey. I have never seen a happy donkey like this donkey in my entire life. Well, the story isn't about Juha giving a gift to a random donkey. No, the thing you should know, before the donkey wore the collar, he used to take advantage of people's carelessness and sneak into the nearby gardens to satisfy his hunger. So, he was always full when he comes back home. Look at his belly, it's always filled with food. And one day, the donkey decided to continue his usual habits. So he went to Juha's field in search of food. But this time, the bill gave him away, and Juha woke up to the sound of the bill, and then he ran quickly into his field because he knew that the thief was the donkey all the time. He chased after him until the donkey left his field. After a few days, Juha saw his stingy neighbor, and with him was his donkey, who had become so thin from hunger and deprivation. Look at him. He looks like a skeleton. Poor little donkey. The miser said to Juha, "Oh, do you see, Juha, the results of your action? My poor little boy." Then Juha said, "Oh, this is the miser's donkey? Oh, how weird is that?" And from this time, things got back to normal. All right, my friends, this is the end of my story. I hope you enjoyed it, and it was such a great pleasure to be part of this beautiful event. Thank you all. Thank you.
Brilliant, Mara. I mean, Lean. Sorry.
Yes, it's
Lean.
fine.
That was fantastic.
Really?
Yeah. Did you do
Thank
the
you.
drawings as well?
Yes, I did them, but I didn't have much time to color these ones.
Fantastic. Really
Thank
good.
you.
Yeah,
Thanks a lot.
yeah, that was amazing, Lean. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
And now back to Gaza. Our next story will be told by Jinan, and she will be telling us the story of Ataba and Zarif Atul. So yes, welcome, Jinan. Are you ready?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can
Can
hear
you
you,
hear me?
Jinan.
Hello, my name is Jinan Ziada. I'm 13 years old and I'm from Gaza. I'm Palestinian. Now I tell you a story. Talk about Zarif, Ataba and Zarif Atul. The tale of Ataba and Zarif Atul is a famous Palestinian legend about love and courage. Zarif was a brave young man who fell in love with the beautiful Ataba. However, her father refused the marriage because Zarif was poor. To keep them apart, the father sends Zarif on dangerous missions. He travels across Palestine, from the mountains of Jalili to the coast of Jaffa. He faced many hardships, like crossing high mountains, walking through hard deserts, and facing wild animals. Zarif had to bring back rare gifts, like pure honey from the hills, the first silk from the market, and precious stones. He succeeded every time because it was love. Finally, a wise Egyptian Mukhtar intervened, convincing the father that Zarif bravery was more valuable than money. The father finally agreed, and they get married. Today, Zarif remains a symbol of the noble Palestinian life. Yes, thank you for listening.
Well done,
Thank you.
Jinan. That was amazing. Thank you so much.
You're
And
welcome.
yeah, and by the way, one of the most famous Palestinian folklore songs is called Ya Zarif al which speaks about separation from family due and loved ones due to occupation and displacement. And it also carries meanings of belonging and connection to home. And we will get to hear a small part of this song at the end of this event. So yes, thank you so much, Jinan, for telling us the story behind Zarif al And now we'll also hear from another student from Gaza, Lين الشقاقي. And she
Okay.
will be... Okay, Lين. Hi,
Stop.
Lين.
Okay. In Palestine, people say an olive tree does not belong to the one generation. It belongs to the past, the living, and even the unborn. And now it's Lynn, 14-year-old Palestinian girl. I will narrate you a story from Palestine. Once upon a time, in a small village in Palestine, there was an old farmer who lived a simple life. He had very little in his hands, but one thing made him rich in heart: a huge olive tree that stood in front of his house. It was older than him, older than his father, and maybe older than the village itself. Every morning, before the sun fully rose, the old man would walk slowly to the tree. He would sit under its wide branches and smile as if he was greeting an old friend. So, greet friend. Sometimes he would whisper, "This tree is like a mother. It gives and asks for nothing." The tree gave us shade in the hot summers, olives in autumn, and peace all year long. To him, it was not just a tree, it was a memory, history, and life itself. But not everyone in the house felt the same. His sons were young, tired of waiting and thinking about money and quick profit. One evening, while sitting together, one of them said, "This tree is too old. It doesn't make us rich fast. If we cut it, we can sell the wood and change our lives." The words felt heavy in the air. The old man looked at them silently.
Is she frozen?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Or she's just kept us on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I think she's frozen. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see.
Lynn, can you hear us? Okay, so it's, yeah, I think she's gone now. So maybe we'll hear another story, and once she's back, we can
Yeah.
learn the rest of Lynn's story as well. So okay, and now maybe we can also now hear from Marah and the story of the boy who cried wolf.
Yeah.
So over to you, Marah.
Hello, everyone. Imagine calling for help and nobody came. My name is Marah and I'm 16 years old. I'm from Gaza, but currently I live in Egypt with my parents. I'm a student in the Hunter Project at Cairo Space. Today, I'm going to tell you a famous story from our childhood called The Boy Who Cried Wolf. A long time ago, there was a young shepherd named Shihab. Every day, he took care of the sheep near his village. Shihab stayed alone for many hours, so he always felt bored. One morning, he looked around and said, "I want to have some fun today." He had an idea. He wanted to play a joke on the villagers. So he suddenly shouted, "Wolf! Wolf! Help! A wolf is attacking the sheep!" The villagers ran to him, heard him, and ran quickly to help him. But when they arrived, there was no wolf. Shihab laughed loudly and said, "Ha ha ha ha, ha ha ha, it was only a joke." The villagers were angry and went back home. A few days later, Shihab became bored again. So he shouted one more time, "Wolf! Wolf! Help me! I need help!" Again, the villagers ran to him. But again, there was no wolf. Shihab laughed again, while the villagers felt upset. After some days, he did the same joke for the third time. Now, the villagers were very angry and said, they said, "Shihab lies all the time. We will not believe him anymore." Then, one day, something scary happened. A real wolf came. The wolf ran toward the sheep, and the sheep became afraid and started running everywhere. This time, Shihab was truly afraid. He shouted and cried, "Please help me, please! There's a real wolf." But nobody came. Nobody believed him anymore. At the end, Shihab learned an important lesson. If you keep playing, people will stop trusting you. Thank you for listening.
That's great, Marah. Well done.
Amazing. Yeah, well done, Marah. That was beautifully told as well. Thank you so much. And now back to Lee. Lean, I'm not sure if you'd like to continue your
Yeah.
story or
So sorry, because my internet unstable.
no worries. Yeah, no worries there. So yes, yeah, over to you, Lean. Would you like to?
Okay.
Are you ready?
Okay, I went back from sometimes he would whisper. Sometimes he would whisper, "This tree is like a mother. It gives and asks for nothing." The tree gave shade in the hot summers, olives in autumn, and peace all year long. To him, it was not just a tree, it was a memory, history, and life itself. But not everyone in the house felt the same. His sons were young, tired of waiting and thinking about money and a quick profit. One evening, while sitting together, one of them said, "This tree is too old. It doesn't make us rich fast. If we cut it, we can sell the wood and change our lives." The words felt heavy in the air. The old man looked at them silently for a moment. He didn't speak. Then he replied softly, "You see wood, but I see a whole lifetime." One of his sons replied, "But father, we need life now. We cannot wait for olives every year." The old man nodded as if he understood their hunger, but his eyes stayed on the tree outside the window. "This tree," he said, "has seen me as a child. It saw your father when he was young. It survived storms, wars, and droughts. And you think its worth is only in wood?" No one answered. Still, the idea didn't leave the son's mind. Years passed. Life became harder in the village. A harsh summer came, hotter than anyone remembered. The land cracked, wells dried, and many trees began to die. Even strong farms started to disappear. But something strange happened. The old olive tree stayed alive. Its leaves remained green. Its branches still carried fruit. It stood like it refused to give up. The family who once wanted to cut it now gathered under its shade every day. That ate from its olives, pressed its oil, and survived through it. When there was nothing in the market, the tree still gave them enough to live. One evening, as the sun set in a deep orange sky, the sun sat quietly under the tree. The same sun that who want to cut it, it lowered his head like this and said in a soft voice, "We were wrong." The old man looked at him, his face tired but calm. "I didn't keep it for myself," he said. "I kept it because roots don't lie. Roots don't lie. They hold you when everything else falls." The wind moved through the branches and tree made soft sound, like it was listening. Then he added, "The land loves those who are patient with it, and the olive tree never parades its owner." And for the first time, the sons understood that what they thought was just a tree was actually their history, their survival, and their home. Thank you for listening.
Well done, Leon. That was a beautiful story about olive trees, and yes, roots don't lie. Yes, thank you so much, Leon. That was amazing. And now next, we have Maysoon. I'm not sure if Maysoon is still here. Maysoon will be telling the story of Jbena, the princess, the moon princess. Maysoon, are you ready?
Hi guys. This is my first time to share something like that. So I will be something have an stress. It's okay, it will be okay.
Yeah, it will be
Okay.
okay, Maysoon. You'll do great.
Okay, today I will gonna tell you about a small story that talks about a Palestinian girl was a beautiful girl. People called her Jabina because her forehead bright like the moon. Okay. Sadly, her mother died and her father married another woman. The new stepmother was very mean from Jabina and she was jealous because Jabina was a beautiful and kind girl. One day, her father went a long trip. The stepmother used this chance to send her daughter to leave Jabina alone in a dark forest. For sadly. Okay, in the forest, Jabina met a scary ogre. She didn't panic. Instead, she was very polite and she offered to clean his cave and cooked food for him. The ogre liked her, so he didn't hurt her, but he made her his helper. Jabina was always kind to the forest birds and shared her food with them. To thank her, the birds decided to help her to run away while the ogre sleeping. They even covered her bright forehead with their wings so no one could see her in the dark. Jabina walked safely back to her village, just as her father returned home. When the father learned about the stepmother's bad choice, he was very angry and ordered the stepmother and her daughter to leave forever. From that day on, Jabina lived a very happy life. Her story shows everyone that kindness and smart thinking always win on a bad things. Just like that. Thank you for hearing.
Well done, Maysoon. Thank you so much.
Great, Maysoon. I've never heard that version of Jabena before. A different version. Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a story like Cinderella. Looks like
Yeah.
Cinderella, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
close. Yeah.
Very beautiful. Well done. We've got Masako here now. Fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Masako.
Sorry, I don't know who got the time wrong, but we thought it was 1 hour later.
Oh,
No problem.
yeah,
No problem.
no problem. Yeah, and we're glad that you're here now. Would you like to tell the story now, or should we give should
Yeah, give
have
us a little bit more time. We were just doing the rehearsal and then we haven't got the story
okay.
not ready
Okay.
yet.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you.
So yeah, okay, so we'll have also another student from Palestine to tell a story. And we'll hear from Omar actually. Omar, I don't know what story you will be telling, Omar, so this is exciting.
So coincidentally, I will be talking about Juha, and also it involves a donkey.
Okay.
So my name is Omar Salah. I'm 16 years old, and I'll be talking about a story about Juha and the weight of the world's opinion on him. So, in the golden morning sun was just peeking over the horizon when Juha woke up with a specific mission in his mind. It was the market day in the neighboring town, a bustling event filled with merchants, colorful spices, and lively battering. Juha needed to sell some of his hand-woven baskets. So he packed them into a large saddlebags and strapped them onto his sturdy gray donkey turning to his son, who was rubbing the sleep from his eyes. Joha smiled and said, "Come, my boy, let's make haste before the midday heat catches up." To ensure they made good time and kept their sandals from wearing out too quickly on the mountain in the rocky terrain, Juha hoisted his son into the donkey's back and then climbed up behind him. With a gentle tap of Juha's wooden staff, the donkey started walking forward, and the trio began their journey down the widening dirt road. The journey started pleasantly enough, with the cool morning breeze carrying the scent of a wild thyme. However, about an hour into the trip, they approached the outer wall of a neighboring village. A group of women had gathered around the central stone well, filling their heavy clay jugs with fresh water and gossiping about week's events. As Joha, his son, and the donkey passed by, a shat- the chatter suddenly stopped. The woman stared in absolute disbelief, their expression turning from curiosity to deep disapproval. One of them threw their hands in the air and shouted loudly for everyone to hear, "Oh, the absolute cruelty of some people! Look at that! How can two healthy grown individuals crush that poor, small animal under their combined weight? Look at its trembling legs. Have you no mercy in your heart?" The words stung Joha. He looked down at the donkey, then at his son. A feeling wave of guilt washed over him. He certainly did not want to be known as a cruel man. "Quickly, my son," Joha whispered, sliding gracefully off the donkey's back onto the dusty ground. "You stay on the saddle. I'll walk beside you, so the people can see we are merciful." With Joha walking on the foot, holding the donkey's lead rope, they continued their march under the growing heat of the sun. Before long, they reached the village square, where a prestigious group of elders sat cross-legged in the deep shade of a massive ancient fig tree, sipping hot tea and discussing matters of law and philosophy. As the trio approached, the elders stopped talking. They watched the young boy sitting comfortably atop the animal while his father started walking through the thick dust, whipping sweat from his brow. One of the oldest men, with a long beard and a stern face, pointed a trembling finger at the boy and shouted loud, "Look at the youth of today. No respect, no manners, no shame." The boy ran high and mighty like a prince, while his elderly father is forced to walk like a dirt servant. What has happened to honor and respect for one's parent? The boy's cheek flushed bright red with embarrassment. He couldn't bear the shame of being publicly branded as a disrespectful son. "Father, please," the boy cried out loud, quickly sliding down the side of the donkey. "Take my place, I insist. I am young and strong. I can walk. It is entirely wrong for you to be the one on foot while I ride." Joha sighed, completely agreeing to the switch. He climbed into the saddle, and they set off once more. The sun was now high in the sky, beating down mercilessly on the arid landscape. Joha sat comfortably on the donkey, enjoying the breeze, while his son trotted behind, trying his best to keep up with the animal's pace. His small kicking feet kicking up a small amount of dust. Soon, They ran into a colorful carnival of travelers heading in the opposite direction. The travelers stopped their camels and horses, looking at Juha with expression of utter disgust. The leader of the caravan laughed bitterly and shook his head, calling out the surrounding crowd. Look at that incredibly selfish father. He sits there comfortably, enjoying his ride, while his poor, fragile child pants and trembles behind him in the scorching midday desert sun. What kind of what kind of parents treats their own flesh and blood like a slave? Where is the fatherly love? Juha ground out in a sheer of frustration, pulling hard on the donkey's reins to bring it into a halt. He rubbed his temples, feeling completely trapped by the options of the strangers. Fine, it seems nothing we do is right, he cried out loud, throwing his hands in the air. He climbed down from the saddle, standing in the hot dirt next to his bewildered son. From now on, neither of us will ride. Let's see what they have to say about that. Now, both father and son walked side by side, leading the completely empty donkey by its robe. The donkey entirely trotted along happily, swishing its tails to keep the flies away. Juha thought that by that sacrificing, they would finally escape the harsh judgment of the world. As they neared the bustling market gates, groups of merchants and shoppers lined the road, seeing the father and son walking through the boiling sand while their donkey strolled casually beside them, empty-handed. The crowd erupted into fits of pointing and roaring laughter. Look at these absolute idiots, a Martian yelled, wiping his tears from out of laughter. They walk on the burning sand, ruining their shoe, while their donkey walks for free. Why on earth do you even own a donkey if you are too foolish to ride it? They have an animal built for carrying loads, yet they choose to suffer. What a pair of what a pair of uh, what a pair of dumps. Johi, Joha stopped dead in his tracks. His patience had entirely evaporated. He looked at the mocking crowd, then at his exhausted, sweat son, and finally at the obvious donkey. There is only one single thing left to do to satisfy these people, Joha shouted, his voice dripping with ironic determination. He marched over to a nearby construction site and retrieved a long, a sturdy wooden pole. He took some rope from the saddlebag and with help of his thoroughly confused son, tied the donkey's front and back legs securely together. They slid wooden pole between the animal's bound legs. With a mighty heave, Joha lifted the front of the pole into his shoulders, and his son lifted the back. Together, sweating and staining under the intense, awkward weight, they carried the dangling, confused donkey on their backs. As they stumbled, wobbling dangerously across the crowded wooden bridge that led into the heart of the market town, the sight caused a near riot of laughter and mockery from everyone in the city. The donkey began to panic, kicking its legs and throwing off their balance. Sensing the utter ridiculousness of the moment, Joha stopped on the very center of the bridge. He carefully lowered the pole, un- uni- untied the donkey, and let the animal stand on its own feet. He took a deep breath, placed a comforting hand on his exhausted son's shoulder, and looked deep in his eyes. My son, Joha said, his voice echoing over the roaring laughter of the crowd, "Remember this day for the rest of your life. If you spend your days trying to please every single person in the world, you will eventually find yourself carrying the donk in your back. People will always find something to criticize you, no matter what choices you made. Therefore, do what you know is right, live your life with a clear confidence, and let people talk." That's the end of the story of Joha and the world's judgment.
Yes, thank you so much, Umar. That was a great story, one of the most famous stories of Juha, actually. Thank you so much, Umar. And yeah, your version is so detailed, yes, and was beautifully told, Umar. Masako, would you like to take over now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Then I would like you to spotlight the pin, not this one, no, the other device
Okay.
of mine. Okay?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, thank you. Because we'll have a microphone, no, the video off. And then here we go. Right, just let me see if we can do a bit of, no, I don't do that. Oh, no, that's it, yes. Right, story's name is called Warashibe Choja. It's one of a very famous folk tales in Japan. And the storyteller today is Manami. Manami, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, Mr. Sally, we are in the middle of storytelling now, so okay, let's go.
Brilliant.
Yes, you can start.
I'm so poor. I want to be rich. Oh, I know. I'll go to the temple. I'll ask Kano-sama for help. Yasuke goes to the temple. Kano-sama, I'm very poor. I have no home, and I can't even sleep in a warm, soft bed. Please, please make me rich. Help me, Kano-sama. Kano-sama appears. I understand you're suffering. I am kind, so I will give you guidance. If you wish to become rich, cherish the very first thing you hold in your hand after leaving this temple. Thank you very much, Kano-sama. Good luck, Yasuke. I hope your wish comes true. Yasuke leaves the temple. I hope the first thing I pick up will be something valuable. Ouch! Wait, what's this? A straw? Can this really make me rich? I still trust Kano-sama. I wonder how this little straw could make me rich. Some horseflies buzz around him. Oh, look at you, little flies, come here. I'll tie you to my straw so you won't fly away. Nearby, a child is crying. It's okay, my sweet. Don't cry. Mommy is here. The child noticed the buzzing flies on the straw and slowly stopped crying. Oh, then smile. Oh, you stopped crying. What happened? Looks around and see Yasuke. Oh my, thank you, young man. My baby saw your straw and stopped crying. May I have it? I can give you a tangerine. Really? Thank you so much. Here you go. Really? You can have it. It's just a straw with some little flies. Thank you so much. Here you go. This tangerine is sweet and juicy. Thank you. Have a nice day. I'm so happy when I do something kind. It makes me feel good inside. Oh, this looks like a nice place to eat my tangerine. Oh, that young lady looks really thirsty. Excuse me, would you like a tangerine? It's really juicy. May I have one? Of course, here you go. The young lady eats the tangerine. Thank you so much for the tangerine. My name is Okio. You helped me so much. I feel much better now. I don't have any money, but please take this cloth as a thank you gift. You're welcome, Okio. Thank you for the beautiful clothes. Take care. Goodbye. Thank you, my kind friend. This cloth is a little heavy. Okio must be a very strong girl to carry this. I want to give a beautiful cloth to my wife, but I can't find any nice one in the store anymore. What should I do with this cloth? Excuse me, young man, did you say you don't know what to do with the clothes? Yes, that's right. I really want a beautiful cloth for my wife, but the store are all sold out. So could I please buy yours? This cloth was a gift, so I don't think I should take money for it. And giving the cloth to your wife is a wonderful thing. Then can I trade my horse for it? But this horse is very weak. Is that all right? Of course. I will take good care of a weak horse. Thank you very much. I hope your wife will be very happy. Can I call you Booty? Booty nod. Okay, I'll call you Booty. I'll stay with you tonight. You won't be lonely anymore. Where do you like to be pat, Booty? Yasuke pat Booty's shoulder. Booty licks Yasuke. Oh, do you like having your shoulder pat? Then I'll keep doing it. I heard you are very weak, Booty. I'm going to clean you up. Your coat is really beautiful. You look so cold. Please use my clothes to stay warm. Yasuke did everything he could. Oh, Butchie looks great. I think he's back to health now. Butchie licks Yasuke. Let's go for a walk. Wow, this house is really gorgeous. Hi, young man. You have a fine horse there. I'm about to start a journey, but I don't have a horse. If I give you my house and land, would you give me your horse? Booty, is it okay if we say goodbye? Booty nods. This is your new partner, okay? Pats Booty's shoulder. Booty licks Yasuke. I can give you my horse, but is it really okay for me to take your house and land? Of course. And I like the name Booty. Can I keep calling him Booty? Of course. Yasuke gives Booty to the man and get the key. Goodbye, Booty. Thank you for the house and land. Bye. Goodbye, young man. I'll take good care of Booty. I'm glad I listened to what Kano-sama said. And they lived happily ever after. The end.
Brilliant.
Well done. Yeah,
Amazing.
that was
Thank you.
amazing.
Thank you.
It was so nice to have that story with the puppets and the images, and it was so Such a beautiful story. Well, is it Manami? Your name?
This is Manami.
Manami. Great,
Yes.
great story, Manami. Well done. Very good. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
that was a great. So what's
Thank you.
this? The paper theater? Because I've always heard about paper theater, but I'm not sure if that's what you used.
Can you repeat the question again?
Was this what you call paper theater? What Nanami used?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Like Kamabashi. Kamabashi, is it?
Kamishibai.
Yeah.
Kamishibai. Yeah.
Yeah. That was
Kamishibai.
Yeah,
interesting.
yes. It's a little bit like Kamishibai, but we discussed and then we decided to use a paper puppet.
Yeah, amazing. That was really brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, we really enjoyed that.
Did you
And
make the
now,
paper puppet? Sorry. I just asked if you made them. Did you make them?
We make paper.
You made them together.
Yes.
That's great.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. And now over to you, Jude. Jude will be telling us the story of the rooster's crown. So yeah, I'm gonna spotlight you, Jude, and whenever you're ready.
Can you hear me?
Yes, but your camera's frozen, Jude. Oh, okay, now it's better.
Can you, to me, you're all frozen, but am I frozen?
Now you're not.
Okay. I'm going to share drawings. I hope it's clear. Can you see them?
We can see them, but it would be better if you remove the blur.
Yeah, okay. How do I do that?
You go into video settings.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah.
That's better?
Yeah,
Let me
that's
just,
better.
that's better, okay. The rooster's crown. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful, wonderful rooster. This rooster was known to be walking among the hills. This rooster one day decided to dig in the ground, and what he found was a piece of wheat. The rooster thought, what should I do with this piece of wheat? He thinked, and decided to go to the bakery. The baker welcomed the rooster, and the rooster gave him the piece of wheat as a gift. The baker was really happy, but the rooster did not go back home. The rooster hid behind a tree, and he waited until the baker had already made the wheat into bread and came back. The baker welcomed him again, but the rooster this time said, I am the beautiful, colorful rooster that walks among the hills. I digged in the ground and found a piece of wheat, and you took my piece of wheat. So either you give my piece of wheat back, give me something in return, or I'll tell the people in the village you were a thief. The baker had no choice but to give him back something in return, so he gave him bread. After that, the rooster went to an old lady's house. The old lady welcomed him, but the rooster told her he had a gift for her. He gave her bread, the bread he took from the baker, but instead of going home, the rooster hid behind a tree, waited, waited patiently until the old lady had already eaten up all the bread, and he came back. The old lady welcomed him, but the rooster said, I am the beautiful, colorful rooster
that walks among the hills. I digged in the ground and found a piece of wheat. The piece of wheat became bread, and you took my bread. So either you give me my bread back, give me something in return, or I'll tell the people in the village you were a thief. The old lady had no choice but to give him something in return. So she gave him onions. After that, the rooster went to the beekeeper. The beekeeper welcomed him, and the rooster gave him a gift. He gave him the onions. But instead of going home, the rooster hid behind a tree and waited patiently until the beekeeper had already eaten up all the onions. So he came back. The beekeeper welcomed him, but the rooster said, I am the beautiful, colorful rooster that walks among the hills. I digged, and found a piece of wheat. The piece of wheat became bread. The bread became onions, and you took my onions. So either you give me my piece of wheat, my onions back, give me something in return, or I'll tell the people in the village you are a thief. He had no choice to give him something in return, and so he gave him honey. After that, the rooster went to a farmer who had sheep, and the farmer welcomed him, and the rooster gave him the honey. But instead of going home, he hid behind a tree and waited until the farmer had already eaten up all the honey and came back. The farmer welcomed him, but the rooster said, I am the beautiful, colorful rooster that walks among the hills. I digged in the ground and found a piece of wheat. The wheat became bread. The bread became onions. Onions became honey. And you took my honey. So either you give me my honey back, give me something in return, or I'll tell the people in the village you were a thief. He had no choice but to give him a sheep. After that, the rooster went to a wedding and approached the groom. The groom welcomed him, and the rooster decided to give him the sheep. After that, he did not go home. The rooster hid behind a tree and waited patiently until the groom and all the guests he had eaten up all the sheep. And he came back. The groom welcomed him, but the rooster said, I am the beautiful, colorful rooster that walks among the hills. I digged in the ground and found a piece of wheat. The piece of wheat became bread. The bread became onions. The onions became honey. The honey became a sheep. And you ate my sheep. So either you give me my sheep back, give me something in return, or I'll tell the people in the village you were a thief. The groom had no choice but to give him a cow they were supposed to eat. After that, the rooster did not go home. He went to the bride. The bride welcomed him, but the rooster decided to give her the cow. The bride was so happy, but the rooster did not go home. He hid behind a tree and waited patiently until the bride had already eaten and her guest all the cow. After that, he came back. The bride welcomed him, but the rooster said, I am the beautiful, colorful rooster that walks among the hills. And I digged in the ground and found a piece of wheat. The wheat became bread. The bread became onions. The onions became honey, and the honey became a sheep. The sheep became a cow, and you ate my cow. So either you give me my cow back, give me something in return, or I'll tell the people in the village the bride was a thief. The bride had no choice but to give him her crown. And that is how the beautiful, colorful rooster that walks among the hills, found a piece of wheat, turned it into bread, turned the bread into onions, turned the onions into honey, turned the honey into a sheep, turned the sheep into a cow, and turned the cow into the crown he always wears and never takes off. Thank you for listening.
Excellent.
Well done, Jude. That was amazing. You made the drawings?
Yes, I drew them.
Brilliant.
Fantastic.
Very beautiful. Yeah.
It
Thank you
was
so much,
great.
Jude.
In some way, it was like the previous story, but kind of different as well.
Yes.
Yeah, that was amazing. Thanks, Jude.
Well done.
And I think we have two more students from Gaza. Lama, I'm not sure if Lama is still here. Lama will be telling us the story of Hatim al-Ta'i, who's also one of the most famous figures in our heritage. Lama, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, perfect.
Hatim al-Ta'i, the meaning of generosity. My name is Lama. I'm 13 years old, and I came from Palestine, a place full of history, culture, and life. I am happy to introduce myself to you. And now I'll tell you my beautiful story. I hope you enjoy it. One day, a king heard about Hatim's legendary reputation and wanted to test him. He sent a messenger to ask for Hatim's favorite horse, a rare and priceless animal. When the messenger arrived, Hatim welcomed him warmly. However, because it was a year of famine and Hatim had no food left to serve his guest, he sacrificed his horse to prepare a grand meal. After the dinner, the messenger said, I have come to ask for your horse as a gift for the king. Hatim smiled sadly and said, Wish you had told me sooner. I had no food to give you, so I slaughtered that very horse to feed you tonight. As the messenger prepared to leave, Hatim insisted on giving him more than just a meal. He offered the messenger warm clothes, water for the journey, and a place to rest for the night. Even during the famine, Hatim believed that a guest should never leave empty handed. The messenger was deeply touched by Hatim's kindness and could hardly believe such generosity still existed. When the messenger returned to the king's palace, he told the king every detail of what had happened. The king listened carefully and was filled with admiration. He realized that Hatim had willingly sacrificed his most precious possession, not for fame or reward. The king understood, but simply to honor and care for his guest. The king understood that true generosity comes from the heart, especially in difficult times. A few days later, the king decided to visit Hatim himself. He brought food, gold, and many horses as gifts to repay for Hatim's kindness. But Hatim accepted only what could help his hungry people and refused the rest. The king respected him even more after seeing his humility. From that day on, Hatim's story became a famous example of selflessness and generosity through the kingdom. In the end, the king told everyone in his kingdom about Hatim's incredible kindness. People began to admire Hatim not because he was rich, but because he always cared and for others before himself. His story taught people that true generosity is not measured by how much a person owns, but how willingly they are to give, even in the hardest times. Thank you so much.
Well done, Lama. That was a beautiful story.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, and beautifully told as well. Thank you, Lama.
Thank you.
And yeah, I think our final storyteller today is Layan. I'm not sure if Layan is still here. Layan? Oh, yes. Layan will be telling us the story behind an Arabic proverb. So, yes, Layan, are you ready? Layan? Can you hear me, Layan?
Okay. Hello. Hello, everyone. My name is Layan. I am 16 years old. I am from Palestine, but I now live in Cairo. I am a student in the 11th grade. Today I will talk about the origin of the famous proverb, turn the both on its mouth and the daughter comes to her mother. It is said that this proverb goes back to the time of the Ottoman Empire, when girls were not allowed to go to the roof of the house, and only married women could go there. One day, the mother was on the roof and she needed her daughter. She said, daughter, come here. But the daughter could not hear her. So the mother turned the pot on the mouth to make a loud sound. The daughter heard the sound and said, "Oh, my mother needs me." Then quickly come to her mother. With time, this proverb became used to show how much a daughter looks like the mother in looks, personality, and actions. Because children often take money, tears from their parents.
Yeah, thank you so much, Layan.
Well done, Layan.
Well done, yeah. So that's the story of the proverb. How do we say that in Arabic, Layan? How do we say the proverb in Arabic?
حط الجرة على تمها بتطلع البنت لأمها.
Yes, which literally translates to put the pot on its mouth, like flip, which means flip the pot, and a daughter will be exactly like her mom, like mom, like daughter. So yes, that's the story behind the proverb. So thank you so much, Leia.
That's brilliant.
Okay, yeah. Lema, I think Lema has a story as well to tell. Lema,
Yeah,
you want to tell a story?
yeah. I sent
Okay.
it for Miss Sahar.
Ah, I see. Okay, so are you ready?
Yeah. So,
Okay.
my name is Lama. I'm 16 years old, from Palestine, Gaza City. This story, I took it from my favorite book when I was young. So, just a minute. This story is about a Palestinian grandmother who had a doll when she was a little girl in Palestine. She loved it very much and carried it everywhere with her. Um, but after the migration, the family had to leave their home quickly, and the little girl had to left the doll behind. The granddaughter, who was born in America, wanted to give her grandmother a doll in her birthday, like special birthday gift. So she started searching online about all traditional things. After a long search, suddenly she found um, a picture of a doll that exactly looked like the grandma's doll. What surprised her most that is found the small handmade stitch on the side on the doll's dress. This stitch is the same stitch that grandma was once said she did it for her doll. So the granddaughter felt that would be the real doll. She went from store to store, from house to house, and spoke with different people. When the grandma's birthday come, she gave it for the grandma for the first time. When the grandma saw it become a silent and hold it carefully, like she was a little girl again, because this doll not just a toy, it carried memories of her childhood, of her house and her homeland. This is from book Whose Doll Is This? That's it.
That's so good.
Wonderful. Yeah, well
Well done.
done, Lama. That was a beautiful story. Thank you so much for sharing that, Lama. And yeah, thank you all, guys. Thank you so much. I think this is where we come to the end of our storytelling event. Thank you all. Thanks to our wonderful students for their creativity and courage and beautiful storytelling today. And thank you to everyone who attended and who joined us and listened to these stories. Yes, like I said earlier, we will end this event with a small part of the famous song, Ya Zarif Al-Tul, whose story now we know from Jinan. Jinan told the story of Zarif Al-Tul. So we'll get to listen to a small part of this song, and that will be it. Thank you again, everyone. Let me just share that. Let me check.
يا ظريف الطول وقت تاكل لك رايح على الغربي وبلادك احسن لك خايف يا ظريف تروح وتتملك وتعاشر الغير وتنساني انا يا ظريف الطول يا سن الضحوك يلي ربي في دلال مضوابك يا ظريف الطول يوم غرابك شعر راسي شاب والظهر انحنى يا ظريف الطول وين مهاجر وين نتمنى من الله ترجع عنا هين بالكنا وانت بنتلاقى عالعين ونغني عتابة نصلح ميجانا يا ظريف الطول وكيف تاكل لك رايح على الغربي وبلادك احسن لك خايف يا ظريف تروح وتتملك وتعاشر الغير وتنساني انا يا ظريف الطول متغرب على القوم لا تبعد عنا وتحط علينا اللوم ان شاء الله ترجع عليك روم تحصد القمحات ونجمع زرعينا يا ظريف الطول غايب عن الوطن وفراقك عنا مل الكلب حزان وارجع لامك وارجع للحنان ما تلك الحنين في بلادنا
So yeah, that was the song Zarif Al-Tul, and now we know the story. You missed that, Masako, so sorry. But yeah, that was a very famous song from the Palestinian culture. And Zarif, the song basically, like I said, it talks about separation from family and loved one because of occupation and displacement. And it also talks about connection to home. So yes, that was Zarif Al-Tul, and thank you so much again, everyone. Thank you guys for the wonderful and beautiful storytelling today. Everyone was amazing. You all were amazing. So thank you so much. And yes, until next time, keep telling your stories, keep listening, and yeah.
Beautiful.
Take care.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.